Welcome back to our realm of true and chilling stories. Today's journey takes us deep into the heart of the world's darkest forests, where three true horror stories await. They are not just myths, they are encounters that defy explanation. So gather round, turn out the lights, and get ready to discover the terrifying truth that lies beneath the treetops. Let's begin. The Sea of Trees, Aokigahara's Labyrinth of Lost Souls. The Aokigahara forest, cloaked in an eternal twilight created by the dense canopy of twisted trees and knotted roots, has a history that reaches back centuries, a silent witness to the passage of time and the sorrow of those who have walked its paths. Our tale is rooted in the early autumn of 1994, when the Atlas Group, a band of 5 seasoned adventurers, sought to unravel the enigmas of the Sea of Trees. Kazuo, the group's leader and an amateur cartographer, was drawn to the challenge of mapping the reputedly unmappable woods. Alongside him were Akemi, an expert in local folklore; Takeo, a botanist interested in the forest's unique flora; Yua, a photographer keen on capturing the forest's haunting beauty; and Hiro, who was intrigued by the stories of magnetic anomalies within the forest. Their expedition was meticulously planned. 3 days to venture into the heart of Aokigahara and return. They entered the forest with a sense of respect and caution, aware of the reputation that preceded it. The first day's travel was unremarkable, aside from the occasional compass fluctuation which they attributed to the iron deposits in the volcanic soil. As the sun dipped below the horizon, they established camp. The night pressed in, dense and black, with only their campfire pushing back against the gloom. Akemi recounted tales of eerie, lost spirits said to wander the forest, lamenting their earthly troubles. The group listened, their rational minds at odds with the shivers creeping down their spines. On the second day, a palpable change came over the forest. The silence grew oppressive, as if the very air was thick with unspoken words. The path, once clear, became a tangled mess of similarity, each turn indistinguishable from the last. It was here that they stumbled upon the circle of belongings, an arrangement too precise to be happenstance. It unsettled them deeply, the unspoken suggestion that they were not alone. That night, a dense fog enveloped the camp. Whispers seemed to weave through the trees, though no words could be discerned. Yua, whose camera had been clicking away since they entered the forest, felt a chill as she reviewed her day's work. Some photos had inexplicably captured shadowy figures standing at the edge of their camp, figures that none of them had seen with their own eyes. With the dawn of the third day came the decision to separate, a choice spurred by the growing fear that the forest was ensnaring them. They agreed upon a rendezvous point and set their watches, planning to reconvene in 6 hours' time. But as the sun set on the third day, none had returned to the meeting place. It was as if the forest had swallowed them whole. When the search parties were dispatched, the forest gave up its secrets slowly. One by one, the members of the Atlas Group were found, their bodies discovered miles apart, each in a tragic tableau that suggested a solitary and disoriented end. Kazuo was found last, his video camera lying in the underbrush near his outstretched hand. The footage was unsettling. It showed the group's descent into confusion and fear, their steady pace devolving into a frantic, aimless march. In his final recording, Kazuo whispered of feeling eyes upon him from the forest, of seeing fleeting shapes in the periphery. The camera captured his face, pale and drawn, before it fell to the forest floor, recording nothing but the sound of movement, a suggestion of presence that was felt rather than seen. Investigators pored over the footage, the maps, the photographs, searching for an explanation. But Aokigahara kept its secrets, as it had for centuries. Theories abounded. Mass hysteria induced by the forest's oppressive atmosphere, an unfortunate series of accidents, or perhaps something more ethereal, as Akemi's tales suggested. The Aokigahara forest remains a place of beauty and melancholy, a sea of trees that whispers of the unknown. The Atlas Group's expedition has been woven into the tapestry of its lore, a modern mystery that reinforces the ancient legends of this enigmatic place. To walk beneath Aokigahara's boughs is to step into a world where the boundaries between the material and the spiritual are blurred. It is a place that commands respect, a reminder that there are still phenomena beyond the reach of science and reason, a reminder that some truths are found not in the light, but in the shadows that we dare not explore. Hoia Baciu, Shadows Beneath the Carpathians. In the ancient lands of Transylvania, where the Carpathian Mountains loom like silent sentinels, there lies a forest that whispers of the unknown. Hoia Baciu, not far from the city of Cluj-Napoca. The forest holds a grip on the imaginations of the locals, its name synonymous with tales that chill the blood and confound the mind. Our tale unfolds in the 1950s, when a local shepherd, known to the villagers as Ion, ventured into the forest's embrace. Ion was no stranger to the woods. He had walked these paths many times, his faithful dog leading his flock of sheep. But on this fateful day, Ion and his 200 sheep disappeared without a trace. The villagers searched, calling out for Ion and his flock, combing through the thick underbrush and tangled trees, but the forest, as if guarding its secrets jealously, yielded no sign of them. Years passed, and the forest's appetite seemed to grow. In the late 1960s, an engineer named Emil Barnea captured what appeared to be a saucer-like object in the sky over the forest. The photograph would circulate throughout the country, casting a spotlight on Hoia Baciu, drawing both the curious and the brave to its darkened paths. In the autumn of 1978, a group of 5 students, led by a daredevil named Alexandru, decided to spend the night within Hoia Baciu's infamous clearing, the very place where Ion and his sheep were said to have vanished. They pitched their tents, laughing off the old wives' tales. But as night descended, a thick fog crept in, and with it, an oppressive silence. As they huddled around their fire, the crackle of burning wood was suddenly pierced by a strange sound, a sound not of this earth. The trees around them seemed to bend inward, groaning under an unseen force. Panic took hold, and the group was engulfed in a cacophony of terror. By dawn, all but Alexandru were gone, their tents abandoned, with only scattered belongings as a testament to their presence. Alexandru, found disoriented and mute with fear at the forest's edge, would later speak of lights in the sky and shadows amongst the trees, of time lost and memories he could not fully grasp. His eyes, once full of youthful defiance, were now haunted by the unknown. The forest, through the years, claimed more souls, hikers, adventurers, even seasoned hunters. None who perished in the forest left any clue behind, their demises as enigmatic as the moving shadows and ghostly lights that danced within the thickets. Investigators, both scientific and paranormal, have ventured into Hoia Baciu, seeking to unlock its mysteries. Equipment malfunctions, eerie sensations, and a pervasive sense of being watched have been reported, yet no one can truly explain the occurrences within this ancient woodland. To this day, Hoia Baciu stands as a monument to the unexplained. The trees, gnarled and twisted as if in agony, bear silent witness to the unknown forces at play. The forest serves as a stark reminder of the thin veil between the known world and that which lies beyond our understanding. So, let this story serve as a warning. There are places on this earth that are best left to the whispers of the wind and the shadows of the moon. For in Hoia Baciu, the line between legend and reality is as thin as the mist that shrouds its timeless trees. Those who dare enter its depths seldom return, and those who do carry with them the burden of truths too strange to comprehend. Nocturnal Whispers, the Pine Barrens' unseen haunt. In the dense pine forests of New Jersey, a place exists where few dare to tread, known to the locals as the Pine Barrens. This vast expanse of woodland is home to legends and mysteries, the most infamous being the tale of the Jersey Devil, a creature said to haunt the forest. Yet the story I recount is not one of myth, but of chilling reality. In the waning days of October 1966, a group of 4 experienced hunters entered the Pine Barrens, seeking the thrill of the hunt. They were familiar with the tales of the Jersey Devil, but they were men of reason, unfazed by the superstitions of the old folk. The men set up camp deep within the woods, where the canopy blotted out the sky and the silence was a living thing. On the first night, the hunters heard eerie sounds echoing through the trees, high-pitched wails and guttural growls that didn't belong to any known animal. They armed themselves, believing it to be the call of some predatory beast. But the night passed without incident, and dawn brought a mocking calm. Their second night, however, would not be as quiet. As darkness descended, a thick fog rolled in from the swamps, and with it, an oppressive sense of dread. The hunters' dogs, usually fearless creatures, whined and cowered, refusing to leave the campsite. Then, the forest erupted with the same horrifying noises, but this time, they were all around, closing in. Terrified, the hunters decided to abandon their camp. They packed hurriedly, the sense of being watched growing stronger with every passing moment. As they made their way through the foggy woods, one of the hunters, James, went missing. Calls for him went unanswered, his flashlight the only sign of where he had been, lying broken on the leaf-strewn ground. The remaining 3 made it out of the forest, reporting their missing friend to the authorities. A search party returned at dawn, but of James, there was no trace. The only evidence that something had gone terribly wrong was a series of large, unidentifiable tracks surrounding the abandoned campsite, leading off into the impenetrable depths of the woods. Despite extensive searches, James was never found, and the mystery of what happened that night remains unsolved. The Pine Barrens continue to be a place of beauty and quiet solitude, but for those who know its darker tales, it is a place to be respected and feared. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, do me a favor and hit that like button. Then smash subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a beat.